Hi, my name is CDS, but everyone calls me Cash Davidson Studios. In the year 2007, Cash was actually born here. In the year 2020, he was here. His favorite hobbies was playing guitar, riding bikes, and hanging out with this guy. His name's Dylan, and he just created a YouTube channel. That's how Cash wanted to be a YouTuber, all because of his friend Dylan. Anyways, he creates his first channel called Believe Gaming. I don't know, that seems like a replica of Dream. Anyways, he makes a lot of subs. Then he abandons it. But then he created his first movie on his friend's channel. Then he wanted to create movies on his account, but he forgot his email and password, so he had to create a new channel. He didn't know what to call himself, so he called himself Roblox TV Man Gaming, or as TV Man, it's a better name to say it. But before he started making movies, he started showing off playing games. Anyways, he created his own movie. It's called The Shadow. But how was The Shadow created? A very long time ago, Cash was sitting under a tree. An acorn fell on his head, and then that's when he looked at his own shadow and decided to create the movie The Shadow. Actually, that's not true, but that was a cool idea how The Shadow would have been created. Anyways, his movie got popular. Maybe not. But then he creates another movie called The Tunnel, which was actually terrible because he's not filming in a tunnel, he's actually filming in his room, look like it's a tunnel. Anyways, Cash decided to take a break on horror movies and focus on YTP, aka another word for trying not to laugh. But then that's when he created his first funniest video of all time, 3 ways to sneak in your brother or sister's room. But then he decided to make his first Home Alone after Dylan ended his Home Alone series. It was the most popular video on Cash's channel so far, till he started getting into health bars that made him way more popular. He decided to take a break on health bars and decided to go back to Home Alone. He creates Home Alone 2. That went terrible. He creates Home Alone 3 with actual actors in it instead of a teddy bear, aka George, and it went great, but the acting was terrible. That's when his friend Dylan saw the video and didn't like it because the acting was terrible. Anyways, he decided to create a health bar out of his own video, which made him way more popular, making this the second best movie he has ever created, aka on a health bar video. Cash then made a video called Malk, aka Mock, or whatever you want to call it, and it went popular and promises every year he'll upload this once a year. It's October, aka the boring month in his opinion. It's November, and this is where it gets wild. How wild, you can say? Well, let me tell you. Cash found a website where it can create 2 programs, and then it can help you get subscribers and views. Kinda cool, right? Isn't that kinda cheating? It is, but he didn't put it on his main channel. He put it on a different channel, and he called it the KDS Brothers with 2 programs named Cash and Caleb. Anyways, it's November 14. What happens? Boom! Cash just got himself into the YouTube wars. Hold on a minute, what's the YouTube wars? Let me explain it. Cash's old friend Jeff Michael unfriended him on Discord and challenged him to the YouTube wars because for unknown reasons. Anyways, Jeff Michael makes a lot of subscribers. However, Cash made one video that made him way more popular before he had to delete that video in the future because of unknown reasons. The YouTube war only lasted up to 14 till the 18th, and it was finally over. Or was it? Boom! The betrayal crisis has happened. What's the betrayal crisis? After the YouTube wars, Cash focused on his poor little channel, the KDS Brothers, that only made about 30 subscribers for him. However, Cash already had a backup plan, removing their channel. The only reason why he deleted their channel is because he thought they were weak. That's it. It's December 1st, and Dylan's jealous because he got 4,000 subscribers and he thought he was cheating because of his little KDS Brothers thing. Well, Cash didn't really care. It's December 13, and Cash is planning on making Home Alone Returns 4, the final Home Alone, on December 15 and planning with Rio and Ryder. So now he's just gonna chill for the rest of the day. Or is he? Boom! The man war has begun. What is up with these wars? What is going on? Well, this is an actual serious war. A surprise attack happened on Cash's computer. It's Cash, his old creation, that he tried to delete. He was still alive inside Cash's computer. So, how did he escape? Well, he created the death remote. What's the death remote? The death remote is a button where you can click random buttons, which wherever he did. He kind of went through the folder, and that's how he figured out the script of the death remote. Anyways, Cash is trapped in his world. Then he escapes. Then he pushes a random button on the death remote that turns him into a giant monster calling himself Chroma Destroyer. Kinda unique. Boom! He killed him. How did he kill him? He used the rest of the power on the death remote to kill him. Kinda unique too. The next day, he realizes that he fought a real villain, and he should be more careful next time. Cash's wish came true, and he finally made Home Alone Returns 4. He also made a health bar of him that made it way more popular, making that the number 1st best movie he has ever created. From January to May, he's been focusing on making YTPs from his friend Dylan and to himself. It's June, and this guy named Caleb, no, not Caleb with the K, Caleb with the C, wants to create a horror movie called The Dingle, and his wish came true, and he is so happy that he created his own villain on my own channel. But we also created The Dingle 2 and The Dingle 3. However, The Dingle 3 had to be taken down because it didn't really make sense at all, and this guy right here who was part of the film was not happy about it. It's September, and Cash decided to create his own horror movie villain after The Dingle and call it Morris because he had a dummy in his room for some reason. He also created a second one and added his friend Tim Dance in the movie. And this movie is very special because this is Cash's favorite horror movie he has ever created on his channel. It's November, and yes, we skipped October because it's the boring month. Anyways, a shooting star crashed on planet Earth, aka Cash's land, and he called himself Zetar. The star told Cash that he makes free wishes, so Cash made a wish that he was the strongest person alive, and he took his wish, and then he became big and tried to destroy his house. But Cash, on the other hand, also made another wish after the muscle part. I wish I was the strongest person in the world, and I wish I could wish whatever I want with my own mind for one day. So Cash poofs him away. The end! But no, he only poofed him away for 3 months, so he'll be back! Anyways, it's December, and 2 things happen here. 1, he finishes the Morris series, rest in peace Morris, we'll miss you. And 2, he goes to see his old friends again. But don't watch this video, because it's so embarrassing that I should have deleted it a long time ago, which I am now today. It's January 2023, and he creates Malk again. It's February, and he's celebrating his happy 2-year anniversary after being a YouTuber for 2 freaking years, and he is so excited that he's gonna relax for the rest of the day. Or is he? Boom! Okay, I really need to stop. Cash just got himself into the Zevolution Wars, which is one of the biggest wars after the Man Wars. So, what happens? Zetar's back after waiting 3 months of being banned from Earth. He is here for revenge. So how does this new plan work? Well, he takes over his friend's body, Tim Dance. He hides his identity by calling himself the Orange Man so Cash doesn't know the truth. They then find the death remote and then put Cash into a dream nightmarish world, so he can never escape and he could be suffering like Zetar was. However, Cash escapes and starts chasing them, but then Zetar gives back Tim's body and starts lasering them back inside the house. Cash and Tim were stuck in the house and they needed a plan, so that's when Cash had an idea of using the rest of the power on the death remote to bring his old villain Cash back to life. But why Cash? He's like Cash's mainest villain. Well, you see, I forgot to mention this. Cash upgraded Chroma Destroyer, so now Cash and Cash, both of us, have to fuse into Chroma Destroyer. Why is that a thing? Also, look, I'm sorry, I can't show you the fight scene because it's very long and annoying. Cash just figured out Zetar's weakness. Every time when Zetar uses his power, he shrinks very small, so all we have to do is make him use all of his power, and we win. Or do we? Well, you see, if Zetar takes all of his power now, he'll become small, but he will still have power inside of him left. Well, what do? We use all of our power on him, and he will die. Well, he won't die, he will just get no power, and he's back to a small plushie again. However, if we use all of our power, one of us dies. So Cash takes the lead and sacrifices his life to save me. What a good friend. Or is he? Rest in peace, Cash. Hello, Tim. Welcome back. Sorry about your house we destroyed. Anyways, the war is over, and Cash killed Zetar, his final wish. And that is it. Cash can finally relax. Boom! Oh my god! Cash just encountered another villain named Seth. He was a USB virus who could help people, but he figured out his true form, and he decided to take over the house, but Cash unplugs him. The end! However, in May, Seth somehow plugged him back in, and he decided to take over the house again, and then Cash unplugs him again, and he dies. The end! I promised you that would be a quick war. Just kidding, I didn't promise you anything. It's June, and Cash's family said they're moving back to California. Woohoo! Goodbye, Tennessee. Hello, California. Cash immediately told the news to Dylan, but Dylan didn't believe him. 3 months later, he finally believes him. And Cash has been acting weird lately. Well, it turns out that Cash was alive, but he's a ghost inside Cash's mind, torturing him and stuff for all the causes he have done to him and himself. That didn't really make sense. However, Cash gets attacked, and Cash helps him. Finally, for once, he helps him. He only helps him for once before he decides to go into his brain and control his brain by putting him into dream worlds so he can suffer like he did. And he puts him in Five Nights at Freddy's. But the 5th one went terrible. He basically grabbed Seth's USB because it had power inside left and put it on his brain, and the brain has been malfunctioning, and he realizes that Seth is still alive and he is controlling the brain. My bad. Okay, he's finally dead. And yes, I went through this Eternal War super fast because I hate editing. But anyways, Cash figured out Keish's true plan. He's only helping him just so he can keep him alive so then he can escape, so then he can kill him afterwards. And so at that day, Cash locked him away forever. But then there was an expire thing on him. Crap. Anyways, Cash just got into Disney. Just kidding, it's an AI. Boom! Okay, I promise you, this is the final boom ever. On November 18th, Cash was planning on going seeing his friends to hang out with them, but the day turned wild because Cash arrived. Cash just got himself into the Calvations War, and luckily, Cash had friends on his side, mostly 3 of them. And this is how it started. Cash and Dylan started talking about life. Dylan didn't believe him that he fought a real star and stuff. And Cash gets mad over it. He goes to the bathroom because he keeps glitching out for some reason. After that, Cash finally controlled Cash's body after so long. He decided to knock out Dylan, Mike, and also Nick, who was playing Smash Bros. For some reason. And also, Cash switched bodies so he doesn't have to go through Cash. He decided to take over Dylan's body because he thinks he's way stronger than Cash because Cash is so skinny and he has no muscles at all. After that, he tied them all up, and he told them that Cash is here, and he's gonna finish his plan after 2 freaking years. But Dylan wakes up. In his mind, he meets a guy named Caleb Wavidson. Oh my god, it's Caleb! But stuck in Cash's mind. He's been trying to get out 112,000 times. 112,000 times? Man, I can't beat that. After that, they stopped a little bit because they were fighting Cash, and then they finally got into the brain, aka the control room. Meanwhile, outside of the brain, Cash is controlling Dylan's body, Dylan, Cash, Dylan, and he uses the death remote on Mike because he fully charged it for some reason, and it turns out there's 2 Cashes, and Cash is confused, and he wants to know the truth, so Cash is going to give him the truth. Meanwhile, inside Dylan's brain, they finally got to the mine, but Dylan notices something was wrong. Nobody was in the chair, nobody was controlling the brain, so who can it be then? It appears that Caleb was hiding a truth this whole time, and here he is about to tell the truth. I've been holding it in for 2 freaking years.
Let me give you a little backstory. It was November 21st, 2021. After our channel died, I thought it was over. However, I wasn't going to let that slide. I started looking through the files and found the blueprint for the death remote that was going to free us from Cash's computer. When I told the news to Cash, he refused, but I had a backup plan. I took over my brother's body so people would think Cash is the bad guy, and nobody knows the truth. And here I am today trying to finish my plan after 2 freaking years.
Oh my god, Caleb was the bad guy this whole time. Sorry, Cash, I thought you were the bad guy. Anyways, Dylan escapes. He's free, and Caleb's free too. Uh-oh, what does he do now this time? He uses the death remote on Mike, aka Cash, which later on he'll be hypnotized and possessed at the same time. Poor Mike, he'll get better one day. And I am so sorry, I really want to show you the fight scene, but it's super long and I can't, I'm sorry. But I will give you what happens at the end though.
Oh, you did it! I can't believe you did it! You did it! You actually did it! Good job! Huh? Game over.
Yep, you all knew it. Cash dies. After so long, all these villains were trying to kill Cash but couldn't. And Caleb was the only person, aka villain, who can only kill Cash. The genius and mastermind, Program AI, Caleb Wavidson. So, what happens next? Mike is no longer Hypno-Cash, he's now Cash, but still possessed. And Cash has now noticed that Cash is dead and Caleb is about to kill Dylan, but he sacrifices his life to save Dylan's, and Caleb was shocked. Then Caleb breaks down in tears and saying, why did he do it? And Cash is telling the truth, why.
I never really wanted to be a YouTuber. You never wanted to be a YouTuber, so I've been doing this for nothing?
So it turns out that Cash never wanted to be a YouTuber. Ever since his channel died, he now decided to give up. And Caleb's been doing this all for nothing. Caleb realizes that he made his final mistake. He only had 25% power left on the controller, which means he can only save 1 person. Cash was telling Caleb to save Cash's, to spare his life.
Spare his life?
And so at that moment, Caleb Davidson finally realized his mistake and decided to save Cash Davidson's life. The war was over. This 2-year war was over. The Calvations War has finally been over. Caleb realizes he's been doing this all for nothing, and he is sorry for what he done. Cash Davidson accepts his apology, and everything can go back to normal. However, someday, something big will happen, and maybe the 5th gen will appear very, very soon. And it will be the final gen ever. Also, Mikey Dash got his body back. Rest in peace, Cash. We will never forget about you.